Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fairview High School. I think we're hooked up and ready to go. For Fairview versus Corry, this is week, I think, 9 for the Fairview High School football team of this strange season. Fairview comes in 5-3. Corry is 3-5. We're just a couple minutes away from kickoff here at Fairview High School. It's already dark out with daylight savings time. And we got a decent crowd, maybe the biggest crowd we've had all year.
Corry, beautiful night tonight. They elected good football weather, a little bit of a chill in the air. Fairview will receive, defend the south goal.
And the kickoff will be by Corry, kicking towards the south end zone. Corry's 3-5 this year. We have a couple overlapping opponents. They beat Northeast by a touchdown. They beat Girard in a close game. So that matches up. You think that we got the better record, but maybe they got the tougher draw outside of Fort LaBeouf in their schedule. So it looks to be a pretty competitive game. Hopefully another fun one. This Fairview squad has had a lot of fun, interesting games that have come down to the wire. But as I said, Corry's about to kick off. Their kicker is number 54, Steele Fuller. He is a senior, and he's kicking off from the 40, and the kick is rolls on the ground. Picked up by Jeremy Frizeo at about the 15. He's at the 35, makes a tackle and misses. Tackle at the 40.
Good starting field position here for the Tigers, starting on their own 40.
A couple players out for Fairview tonight. If you remember, last week Jacob Truitt was injured. The injury still exists. It was to his knee. We were super worried. It doesn't look like it's going to be overly serious, but he's going to miss this week. We're hoping he can play next week. So not obviously you see the injury and you think bad things, but hopefully it's just something that's going to linger for a week or two. Also, Charles Chevalier will not be playing for personal reasons. Actually, Sam Malinowski will be wearing his number 23 tonight. But it's 1st and 10 from the 40, and Corbin hands off to Januso. He's tackled in the backfield. Tried to go off the right side, and one of the D linemen came through and got him for about a yard or two loss.
Stopped by Owen Warren.
Yeah, I don't know if Coach Sobolewski has any type of boot or keeper off of that, but in that boot fake that Corbin had, no one from the defense respected it.
And I'm trying to think, obviously you've seen more games than I have or followed them closer. I haven't seen us run a boot this year in any way.
No, we did run something that resembled a little bit of a waggle pass, I think once or twice, which, then you kind of have the option to run it, but not quite a boot action like it would be off of that play.
2nd and 12, Corbin. Looks like we're running options. A Corbin keeper. He is stacked up at the line. Maybe gets a 2-yard gain back to the 40, the initial line of scrimmage. It's going to make it 3rd and 10. You can see from Corry, they stood him up and drove him back. And their sideline got pretty fired up. They're excited to play tonight.
They are. And you could even tell their energy in warm-ups. They've got the long travel here from Corry. But even with that, they came off the bus ready to play.
And they got in the time of COVID, I think they got a pretty good away crowd that's made the trip all the way up, especially for a team. Obviously, this isn't a playoff game, it isn't in playoff contention. But they still got as many people as we've seen at Fairview High School all season.
They do have a good crowd, good support.
All right, so it's going to be 3rd and 10. Corbin's under center. There's 2 wide receivers left, and he's going to roll out to his left. Throws quickly into the flat, and it's incomplete. Looking for Januso. He had
Januso was open. Incomplete. The completion would have been short of the first down, but I like the chances of Januso catching that and making a guy miss, or at least just meeting a defender at the line to gain there. But throw was just a little off, and they weren't able to convert.
It was essentially a sprint out pass to his left, and Corbin, obviously a right-hander, had to turn and make an accurate pass, running against where his arm wants to be. And that probably led to the incompletion. So it's 4th and 10. And
as you said, when you sprint to your non-dominant hand side, that's very tough for a quarterback to have to square their shoulders around.
Frizeo punts it, and it is caught up down at the 26 by one Corry. Receiver makes one defender miss, makes another miss, makes a 3rd miss, and he is barely pulled down by Tyler Work. An elusive return that time by, I think that was Sam Fisher, who was able to make multiple Fairview guys miss, and you might have heard it in my voice, the alarm is he almost broke out of there for a long return.
Yeah, I think if Tyler Work doesn't hold on to his jersey there, he might be going down the middle of the field for a touchdown. As it was a good 25, 30-yard return.
And they are in the middle of the field at the Fairview 48, 1st and 10. They come out in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, and there's a jump offsides on Johnny Himline. Got him on the hard cadence from the quarterback. Their quarterback's name is Nathan Lesher. He's a junior. The player to watch on Corry. Last week we were watching a wide receiver that we had to deal with. This time we're going to have to deal with a big bruising running back. It's Landon Weiss, who's 6'2", 210. He's run all over the place this season. It's now 1st and 5.
Now, Corey's one of those teams that, if you're watching the video, you notice that in the cadence they all pause and look to the sideline. The coach is actually waiting to call the play until partway through the cadence.
It's a deep pass by Lesher. He's looking for a receiver down the sideline. Jeremy Friseo was in coverage, and that was that same Sam Fisher, the punt returner. He had maybe a step on Friseo, but the pass goes long, incomplete.
2nd and 5.
That was just a straight drop back and a go route. I mentioned Lennon Weiss, but we're right back at the Harbor Creek game plan.
Yeah. But, when you get a 1st and 5, why not take a shot? A lot of times coaches, when they're given that short 1st down yardage, they take a chance.
Corry is not huddling. They're in trips now, 2nd and 5 for Lesher, who gives off to Weiss, who gets maybe 3 yards.
Himline and Sussman.
Yeah, it looks like Himline and Sussman are in on the tackle. He didn't get through the D line there, but he's still able to pick up 2 or 3.
3 yards.
Seeing a slightly different defensive front by the Tigers here. We only had 3 hands in dirt there, and we had a couple guys in a 2-point stance coming off the edge. I wonder if they'll continue to do that through the night.
Now 3rd and 2, Lesher in the shotgun, Weiss next to him. That's going to be a keeper by Lesher. He's able to elude one defender. He's out of the corner. He's got Jeremy Friseo there who tackles him at the 27-yard line.
He's brought down by Jeremy.
I talked about Weiss, and we were focused on Weiss, and Corry knows that.
Yeah,
and Lesher kept it.
You could tell our defensive line there was really focused on Weiss, and they came crashing down on that give fake, and quarterback just pulled and made a nice play.
And it looks like Lesher is down. I believe that's Lesher. Lesher's a big kid, 6'1", 205, and he got into the open field, and Jeremy Friseo came up on him and went low to make sure he got him down. But he did take his legs out, and Lesher went down pretty hard.
It looked like his feet didn't get stuck in the turf or anything. That's where you really get nervous, when you get one of those low hits and a foot gets stuck in the turf. That's when you can have a serious season or even career-ending injury. I think that his feet came up with the hit, so usually, that might indicate that there's some type of bruise or something on the leg that might be bothering him here.
But they are looking at the lower body. We just talked about Jacob Truitt. You lay here and you look and you think, oh no, here's the knee. But it doesn't always mean it's serious. And he's up, he's limping, but he's putting weight on it, and the trainers are letting him put weight on it, which to them indicates it's, not good, but not a serious injury either. He's going to have to come off the field, though. Trying to scour. They have 2 sophomore quarterbacks on the roster and a freshman. I'm not sure who the backup's going to be. But it's going to be 1st and 10 at the Fairview 27.
18.
The quarterback is... It's either 18 or... I can't tell what number it is.
Actually, Weiss is lining up as a quarterback.
Yeah,
it looks like Weiss is at the quarterback.
Yeah, and he's just going to keep it and run straight ahead.
It was 18 that was in at the back there.
Yeah, that's
Ethan Allen.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's the quarterback. And Lesher's back in the game, so that was a one play. Let's just give it to our trusted senior and let him run downhill. But good to see Lesher back in the game. I'm not sure who got the tackle on that play. It was Zablotny. And who's the other one? Nesselhoff, thank you. But only a 1 or 2 yard gain. But now Lesher's back in with Weiss next to him, and they're in shotgun with trips. And here's a fly motion, which is a toss. He's tackling almost in the backfield. He eludes again. This is the same kid Fisher. He's very elusive.
So that goes from being almost a 2 to 3 yard loss to a 9 yard gain there for the Beavers.
Making it 3rd and 1. From the Fairview 18-yard line. Corry is not following the rules on where the sideline's supposed to be.
Actually, with the COVID rules, it's extended to the 10.
I got you, okay. But it's going to be 3rd and 1. And Lesher is in shotgun. They have twins both sides. It's going to be handoff to Weiss. He eludes one. No, he doesn't. He's brought down. He gets the first down, but he stalls his down on him real quick, and Weiss did his job of driving forward. Getting the first down. Stolzitz gets the tackle.
This hurry-up offense is really kind of keeping our defense on the heels. You know, one of the things we've done in the past is we've stunted on defense to hurt teams, and when an offense is running hurry-up, we're not able to get those calls in.
To give on first down to Weiss, and he gets maybe 3 or 4 yards, but he's brought down by a Fairview tackler. Just another dive. Defensive line did a good job there of slowing down Weiss's momentum. He had to turn, and somebody's able to get their hands on him and bring him down. 2nd and 7 now. 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter. They're at our 13-yard line. It's a keeper by Lesher. He fakes to Weiss for a long time. He gets an uphill about 3 or 4 yards before he's brought down by Nesselhoff.
Brought down by Sussman and Nesselhoff.
Sussman, I'm sorry. 2 D linemen again. And Corry's able to get a little bit of a push, but they're not able to really win the battles. I've seen defensive linemen make a lot of tackles so far.
having D linemen coming off the blocks. You know, the Corry line is getting that first contact, but our D line is doing a good job of shutting those blocks and making tackles.
3rd and 4 now. Lesher tosses to Weiss. He's trying to run outside. He eludes one tackler, and he's down to the 2-yard line. I think he's brought down by Januso. I'm not sure who that was. Down near the goal line. Just a straight toss. He was in the shotgun, the sidecar of the shotgun, and he just started running to his left, and Lesher tossed it to him, and he's able to outrun the defenders for a first down.
You know, a big back like that, he gets a little bit of momentum and ahead of steam. It's real tough to take down.
There's no elude. He's not trying to elude anybody either. When he sees somebody come, he's like, I'm going to try to run you over.
And typically, he's going to win the size battle.
Lesher's in the shotgun. He gives to Weiss, who walks into the end zone for the touchdown. Easy touchdown for Corry to start the game. And they're up 6-0 with 6:19 left in the first quarter. A good drive for them. Got into 3rd down a couple times. They were able to use Weiss's strength and just his downhill ability. And Sam Fisher certainly contributed with his elusiveness.
Yeah, and remember that drive was set up by Fisher's punt return to get it into the Tigers' territory to even start the drive. So they had a short field to work with and put together a time-consuming drive to get first score.
No good. 6:19 left in the first quarter. They waved it off.
And the kick is up and good. Their kicker, Steel Fuller.
The kick is good.
And he kicked a line drive
6:19 left in the first
field on the kickoff, and then that extra point was bombed through the uprights.
Yeah.
So it's 7-0, but now.
Okay, so actually, I think the kick was no good.
It was no good.
He definitely crushed it, and it definitely was no good. Now that we watched the replay,
and the head official just got on the microphone and announced that it was no good, just for the correction.
So it's going to be Fairview ball again. Remember, we got 3 and out to start the game. We weren't able to move the ball, and Corry drove right down the field. So we'll see if we can get a better look here. With their kicker, I would imagine they would much rather just kick it deep.
Now, we have had some good returns in the past. You know, we do have some dangerous athletes back there with Work, Januso, and Frizeo, so maybe they're trying to avoid that. However, the last kick got to Frizeo anyway on that squib, and he almost broke it. So.
We have a lot of good athletes back there, but if I'm a betting man, I'm saying they're trying to avoid Januso. Frizeo might beat them, Work might beat them, but they're living without Januso having the ball.
Yeah.
So Fuller is set to kick, and this time he does kick it normally, and it's going to be caught by Januso at the 15.
Taken by Jared Januso.
He is brought down at about the 28. The wedge we tried to set up, or the blocking we tried to set up, didn't really materialize. He had to slow down, and then a Corry defender got on him. So it's going to be 1st and 10 Fairview from our own 28.
Hopefully we can start to put together a little more of an offense.
1st and 10
last year's really didn't have a chance to get into a rhythm, going 3 and out. And, you know, all 3 plays, 2 short run plays that really amounted to nothing, and then an incomplete pass on 3rd down.
Yeah.
However, you know, as we mentioned, our routes were open in that pass play, so that's something we could come back to, and I'm sure Corbin will start to connect on those.
Corbin's under center here with 2 wings, 1 wide receiver, Logan Frizeo. And it's going to be an option, and Corbin keeps it, but he's creamed by 2 Corry defenders. He gets about back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. It was an option. The pitch defender went running by, and that left an opening for a second, but the linebacker followed through.
Timeout here by Coach Soboleski. He wants to talk things over. with his players.
Somehow he got 1 yard.
Corbin looks all right, but that was a crunching hit.
Yes, it definitely was a hit. We, in this one we had the pitch guy in relationship in motion, and it looked like he could have possibly pitched it to Friseo.
I think what happened there is he read the pit. The guy went to the pit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Actually,
Corbin made the correct read.
He made the correct read. What I saw at first, I thought it was a defensive end, but it was a linebacker that came in through an interior gap, unblocked. That was in his face right away.
And so Corbin did his job, but sometimes you can't run option when there's 3 guys standing there.
That's
You option the first one, and then there's 2 more.
true.
So I'm just gonna tackle you. But now, Coach Sobolewski, I'll note a lot of hand movement in his talk
Couldn't
to the
necessarily
Tiger
hear
huddle.
what he said, but yeah, a lot of hand movement.
2nd and 9. Corbin has Januso in motion. Now they run an option right.
Now
He
he's
pitches to
gonna pitch
Januso, who's trying to elude the
Januso.
perimeter defender. He does, and he gets about 4 or 5 yards before he's pushed out of bounds.
Now, even though Corbin got the pitch there, he still
Still
took
got
a pretty big
shellacked.
hit. And that's something when we played against option teams, we were always taught, that quarterback is a runner, and you get a hit on him every chance you get.
Third
Yeah,
down.
obviously nothing dirty, just clean hits.
Yeah.
But so many times in this game you can't hit the quarterback.
Yeah.
And that's the one time he's making it easy. But Corbin dutifully took the hit to get the yardage. So it's going to be 3rd and 5. And now we're on the right hash. We come out with 2 wide receivers. Friseo and Stalzich are the ones out wide.
That was a big pickup.
Corbin drops it back, throws. He's throwing for Jeremy Friseo. It's intercepted by Landon Weiss, but there's a flag down.
Corbin's pass intercepted by Weiss.
That's most
There's a
likely
flag
going to
on
be a
Weiss.
holding call.
I think it's going to be Corry ball. That was a wheel route. We threw it last week at a big moment. But this time he got hit as he was throwing, and Weiss rolled with it pretty nicely for an outside linebacker, especially for a 6'2", 210 kid, and was able to be right there. The ball was underthrown because Corbin was hit, and Weiss made the play.
the way they're talking here, maybe this is a penalty on Corry.
Corry's defense is confident it is not. They are not on the field anymore.
Because I would think if it's on us, they would have just signaled it and declined it. But the officials are talking things over here.
They are.
Illegal block below the waist.
It is.
55 offense.
Okay.
Decline. First down.
So not a great start for Fairview. Obviously, it's going to be Corry ball. That interception, I think they're going to mark it at the Fairview 49. So they're starting once again, barely in Fairview territory. On that play, looking at the replay, Friseo was open. Corbin
Just
tried to get it to
slightly
him. He just
underthrown.
gets hit while he's throwing.
Yeah, and I think if he had a chance to follow through on that throw, that would have been on the mark for Zeo. But the pressure in his face, he got hit. The ball was underthrown and picked off.
Corry is ready to go. They're out in shotgun.
Almost the exact same field position.
Yeah, 1 yard different. And they're on the left hash in trips. And it's going to be a handoff to Weiss, who cuts to his right, eludes, gets out of the main huddle of players, and is brought down eventually by.
Locks.
It was Plots? By Plots.
Locks.
Oh, Locks. Okay. Sorry.
Where's he at? 43.
She's going to make it 2nd and 3. They're in shotgun again already. Lesher gets the entire Fairview defensive line to jump, and it's going to be first down Corry. Is the situation where I think Coach Sobolewski, if you were to pause it and ask him, Corry has both come, and I hate the phrase ready to play, and Fairview didn't, but Corry's got their A game today, and Fairview does not so far.
Yeah, when you have a team that equally matches you, and you make these mental mistakes, it's putting yourself in a hole that you can't afford.
It's going to be that toss to Weiss off the left side. He's got the corner.
Weiss with the ball.
He's down deep into Fairview territory, and he's going to score. He's into the end zone, a 38-yard touchdown. Just that same toss sweep. A couple Fairview guys got their hands on him. A lot of pursuit.
37-yard
I think two
touchdown.
defenders took each other out,
Landon Weiss.
and he was able to get into the end zone for the big touchdown. That makes it 13-0 Fairview with 5 minutes left in the, 13-0 Corry.
It should be 12-0 right now.
It is.
And it is now 12-0 Corry as they try to kick the extra point. Certainly the start Corry was looking for and not the start Fairview was looking for. The extra point is up and good.
So now it's there.
Close cook is good.
Yeah, I mean, really, nothing is going well for the Tigers right now, and it seems like everything's going well for the Corry Beavers. I mean, Corry has kind of driven at will in those 2 short drives. Got an interception on defense, and they're just firing on all cylinders. Had a good punt return, so all 3 phases are working for Corry right now.
And obviously they've got something going on. That toss sweep, it's not a complicated play, but it seems like they have numbers and leverage on it.
Well, that one, they did it out of a slightly different formation, I believe. They did it out of trips, whereas before I think they only had 1 receiver to that side. So having the trips formation, pulling those 3 receivers over to that side, it spreads out our defense, and then you have the size and athleticism of Weiss, and he made a few guys miss, broke through some arm tackles. 2 of our defenders ran into each other, and that end result is a 38-yard touchdown.
So they're going to kick off again. 3rd time they're going to kick off in
the first quarter, in the first 7 minutes.
Not ideal. But we have Frazeo, Januso, and Work deep. See who takes it. Januso the deep as he's standing at the Fairview 15. Deep kick. This one is outside of Frazeo and out of bounds. So it's going to be Fairview ball if we choose to go that route at the 35.
Looks like coach is sending out the offense, so I think he's just going to take the ball at the 35. One thing that we've seen some exciting games this year, and we've had to come back at times. We've been down. We haven't had to come back from a huge hole, or we haven't had to, or we haven't come back from a big hole and ended up winning. So it'll be interesting to see how the Tigers choose to respond here. Down 13-0 early.
I know we haven't shown really the ability to move the ball, but this is the time when you just need, hey, let's get to this. Let's get through the first quarter with the ball. Just a nice slow drive would be perfect. Yeah. But Corbin's under center, and it's going to be a pass. It's thrown to Januso. It's incomplete. Januso got a hand on it. He was in the slot receiver and just ran a seam route. And Corbin threw it to him, just missed. It was just a little bit off, so it's going to make it 2nd and 10.
It's a play that I really like the idea. It was there. He was open, just slightly out of reach on the throw. I think it's something that that's twice now that Januso was open on 2 different pass plays. So those are things that coach is going to come back to, for sure. Like you said, we need someone to make a play here and get us some positive yardage.
2nd and 10. We're in twins again with Frazeo and Januso to the left side. It's a motion. It's a keeper by Corbin who cuts back to his right. And he's able to get about 6 yards. It looked like an option play. It might have been that midline, but there was a pitch man in motion.
Yeah, I think that was just our traditional triple option. 6-yard gain. He decided to cut it up and cut back quickly, so it made it look more like that midline with an inside run.
Yeah, and Malinowski, wearing Chevalier's number, was the pitch man there, but he chose not to use him.
Yeah, not only is he wearing Chevalier's number, it seems like he's kind of filling in Chevalier's position.
He's in Chevalier's positions, especially on defense. They play similar positions. It's going to be 3rd and 4, so this is what we talked about. We want to have a good drive. That means we got to get our first down here. Corbin's under center, and we're in unbalance. Corbin's back to pass, throws a little hitch. It's incomplete. Through to Frazeo. Frazeo got his hands on it, but the defender, I'm not sure who it was, number 11. Braden McKnight was able to break the pass up.
Looks like Coach Sobolewski might go for this one. He's trying to look for a spark.
It was a good. I know that we've had a couple plays where Corbin hasn't been accurate. That was a good ball. It was just good defense by the Corry.
It was a well-timed hit by the defense there to knock that ball loose from Frazeo.
So once again, another 3 and out. Now we're punting. It's going to be Frazeo. Like a kickoff, the ball rolls down. It goes over the returner's head, bounces at the 10, bounces at the 3, bounces at the 2, and it is knocked into the end zone. It was going to. It might have stopped naturally at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of a mistake there by the coverage team.
And that's going to put the ball at the 20. It was a great punt. Their returner, Fisher was there, but the ball bounced over his head. End over end kick, not a spiral. Got a great bounce, great roll. It was going to stop. It looked like at the right spot. But
yeah, it looked like it was just going to stop right on the 2 or 3 yard line, and the momentum of our coverage guy kind of took it into the end zone.
But here they come. Corry's at the 20. They got 2 wide receivers each side. And Lesher, the shotgun, Lesher keeps it, he takes to Weiss, and he gets about a yard.
But, that time our defense had good coverage on both the give fake and the quarterback there, so only about a 1 to 2 yard gain. Now, even though we didn't pin them deep, we still do have them on the 20-yard line, so that's the worst field position they've dealt with all night.
2nd and 8, maybe 2nd and 9 from the 21-22. Lesher looks over at the Corry sideline for the play. All the receivers look as well. They're in trips with their shotgun. And Lesher throws a quick pass.
Nice
He throws to
Logan
Fisher.
Frizeo.
And Sam Fisher, remember, he's elusive, and Logan Frizeo was like, "You're not going to lose me this time," and he got him as he caught the ball.
And that is a great form tackle by a player who hasn't played much defense this year. Logan has really contributed on offense for us this year and has not seen many reps on defense. So, a guy that isn't out there on the defensive side of the ball, you would think wouldn't be able to get a clean tackle like that. And that was just a great form
height
tackle.
is a benefit in so many sports, but it's not really something you want from a defensive back in terms of their tackling ability. But he didn't seem to get his way at all. So Lesher's back to pass. It's going to be a screen.
We've got Stalls right there.
He's able to get the first down and down to the 35-yard line. He was able to elude Stalzitz. The Blotney was chasing. It was a well-executed screen pass.
Very well-executed screen. We had some guys in position there to try to make the play, and it's a credit to Weiss's athletic ability, outrunning some of our D linemen.
14-yard gain on the play. First down from the 33-yard line.
That's one of those things as D linemen. You're taught if you have a free release on the quarterback, something's up.
You're not that good.
Yeah.
They're doing something.
Yeah. Something's up. You got to stop and retrace your steps. As much as you'd like to think that you just made a move and fooled that offensive lineman to get back there for a sack. No, they made you do that.
Make them run! Ball's right in front of you, watch it!
Fairview.
It's going to be another jump on Fairview. I'm not sure who it was. They've now got us on the hard cadence 3 separate times. And the Fairview fans are reminding the players to keep an eye on the ball, which is, of course, easy. It's an easy command. I was a defensive back, so I was 10 yards away. I didn't care. I don't know what's so hard about this. But defensive linemen are always trying to get their hands on the offensive player first, and everybody knows that. So it's good work by Corry. We just got to be more disciplined.
And you're right. When you're fighting in the trenches there, the guy that wins is the guy that gets first contact. And the offense is already at an advantage in that they know the snap count. They know when the firing pistol is going to be fired, whereas the defense has to be reactive. And so any little jump they can get and to gain an advantage, they want to do that. And sometimes, they get a little too antsy and they jump off sides. And what that'll do is that'll cause them to sit back on their heels, and now they're going to receive first contact instead of deliver.
1st and 5 now. Last time in the situation they went deep. We'll see what they do here. And it looks like they're running that quick screen again. Now Fisher's got more space. He loses Logan Frizeo. Nearly gets by Jeremy Frizeo.
And Logan got
Jeremy
there
Frizeo. Yeah, they got a better block on Logan. Jeremy makes a tackle. He's helped by a hustling Nesselhoff who gets all the way down there from the interior line. Great play by Doug.
Well, it was Nesselhoff who jumped off sides the play before. So
he's very angry with himself.
I think he was a little angry and wanted to make up for it. So sometimes, a mistake like that can motivate a player to really dial in and make some plays. They're loading up the line of scrimmage here, anticipating run.
It's a quick pass. They throw a slant to Fisher. He's got it over the middle. He's going to go for a touchdown unless Tyler Work can catch him, and he's not going to be able to. Fisher's going to be into the end zone to make it 19-0.
51-yard touchdown play for Corry.
51-yard touchdown pass. They just spread us out there. I think there was a blitz. I wasn't watching interior too close.
There was. We did bring some extra pressure, and so we didn't have that underneath coverage from the linebackers. But that was just a tightly thrown ball and a good catch by Fisher. And we've seen his speed and athleticism already. You leave him open in the middle of the field, that's just dangerous.
and he did just a slant, and there just weren't enough defenders out there. The kick is up, and it is deflected, no good. So I guess the one thing we got going for us is we're winning the extra point battle. There's 1 of 3. That one was blocked. I'm not sure you got a hand on it.
Looking on the bright side.
2 minutes left in the first quarter.
I guess the other bright side is there's still a lot of time left. We're still in the first quarter here, and we haven't been able to get our offense in a rhythm yet. And I feel like we have the weapons. If we can get into a rhythm, we can start to hang with them.
Yeah, it looks like they did. Watching the replay, they caught us in a blitz, and there were only 3-4 defenders out in the secondary, and they were running 3 routes: 1 deep, 1 out, 1 slant, and the slant was the one that came uncovered, and that was Fisher, and he was able to just continue on a slant route, run away from the other defenders.
Yeah, and that's tough to cover. That number 2 receiver just slanting underneath. Good offensive play call by Corry.
Yeah, I mean, Corry's not had a winning season this year, but they look like a very good. I am not saying a great football team, but they look like a very complete football team.
It's one of those subtleties that you can see. It looks like they're well coached. They're disciplined and they're running crisp routes. They're not making the mental mistakes. And not to say because we've made a few mental mistakes that we're not well coached. It's just one of those things that we need to definitely clean up.
Kick is deep. It goes past Frazeo, out of bounds again. So Fairview will get okay field position again, and we'll see if we can get. It's been 2 3-and-outs and an interception have been how our series have gone. Obviously,
First and 10 Tigers from their own 30.
I think we've had 3 3-and-outs and an interception. No, this is our 4th possession.
Yeah, this is our 4th possession. We're on 9 plays so far. Still haven't gotten that first down. Yeah. We'll see what we can do here. And we've been close. We put players into open spaces, just haven't been able to connect, and then haven't been able to get our run plays blocked up yet. But it looks like we're coming out with 2 wide receivers, 2 wings, Corbin under center, there's a Blotney behind him.
Corbin looks like he might be changing something at the line of scrimmage here.
It's going to be a toss to Jeremy Frazeo. He's trying to run to the outside. He's able to elude 1, 2 defenders, a 3rd defender, and he's pushed out of bounds, and then he's hit out of bounds. There's going to be a penalty, so Fairview got just short.
And we will get our first down.
Yeah, it's going to be 2nd and 1. Jeremy Frazeo did some good work there to get the first, to elude a number of tacklers, and then he really had nowhere to go. He almost went out of bounds, and then another tackler pushed him out of bounds, and one of the guys he had made miss was very unhappy with it.
and to the defense of the defender there, that is tough. You think that he was down already out of bounds, and he wasn't, and he kept running, and then he eventually did get knocked out of bounds, and so, I don't think there was anything malicious involved. It definitely was late. But it's just tough.
There are times when the defender does not know if he's out of bounds or not. That was not one of
them.
He knew he was out of bounds.
I guess that's true. He did have.
Frazeo got foot out of bounds, stood there like he was waiting for a bus, as the play ended, and then he got knocked over.
And the defender did come from out of bounds as well to hit him.
So it's now Fairview ball. Now that we're at the Corry 42 after that big play and the penalty, so we'll see what we can do here, and it's going to be a jet sweep to Januso, and he's not able to get around Landon Weiss. The big D end on defense makes the tackle for about a 2-3 yard loss, and he's athletic. He's able to run with Januso out there on the perimeter despite his size.
Yeah, I think Coach Sobolewski was yelling into one of our guys that kind of missed a block on Weiss there.
Yeah, and I would. Weiss is one of those guys. If you're going to look at the newspaper, you expect to see if everything goes normal with college commitments. He looks to me like a college football player, a scholarship football player, even.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jeremy Frazeo was trying to block him there, and he's just given up a lot of size trying to block him and reaching him on the edge.
2nd and 13, so that was a negative play, not a terribly negative play, and now we have Corbin under center with the toss sweep. It's going to be a give to, I don't know what it was. It was a give to the Blotney, and he was met as he took the handoff. He held onto the ball, but he lost about a yard, and then after the whistle was blown, after his momentum was stopped, they drove him back another 6-7 yards.
I don't think we blocked anybody up front on that play. There were 4 or 5 white jerseys in the face of the meeting him when he was getting the ball.
All right, there's 30 seconds left on 3rd and 14. We're there, 46. Might be the last play of the first quarter if it's a run.
Imagine if we can pick up some yardage here. Coach will go for it on 4th.
Corbin drops back. We're throwing a fade. It is going to be Logan for Zay. He's got the ball. He's at the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown.
46-yard touchdown play for the Tigers.
He got hit pretty hard on that pass and threw it up to the big guy, Logan Frizeo, and he's able to catch and take it into the end zone.
That was reminiscent of what Northeast was trying last week. Let's just throw it to our athlete, let him go make a play. He's going to have a size advantage, and that's exactly what happened. Frizeo made the play. It was well delivered by Corbin. It wasn't one of those that he runs underneath with his momentum. It was one of those that he gets to get a running jump at, and he went up against McKnight, the corner. Look how tall McKnight is. He's only 5'7", so that's obviously a 10-inch advantage. And McKnight knows that. He's trying to make a play, but Frizeo's just got too much.
And that was a well-thrown ball. And it was in position there.
12.5 seconds left in the quarter. 19-7, Corry.
You know, like we said, we needed someone to come up and make a play to spark some momentum. And that could be just the play that we're looking for there.
Danuso's extra point is up and good. So now there's 12.5 seconds left in this pretty long first quarter. And it's Corry 19, Fairview 7.
I know, this first quarter we've had 4 touchdowns. Couple big plays.
But this is going to be, the defense has not been able to get a stop yet. We've looked like we were about to get one, got him in 3rd down. We just haven't been able to get it yet.
So Jeremy and I are receiving a message from his dad, who used to be our high school coach here. You know, talking about the many Corry matchups that we had in high school. And actually, I was thinking about this pregame, and it seemed like there were at least 2 times that we played Corry at the end of the season.
Yeah, we always do them at the end of the year, and it was not always, nights like this.
It was always terrible weather. I do vividly remember the one game where there was a foot of snow or so before pregame, and I remember Jeremy in the locker room, you know, saying he couldn't feel his hands and they were freezing, and then he put them under warm water like an idiot, and then started screaming even more.
that was my best moment.
But I think that was my sophomore year, your junior year. It was so cold.
Danuso tries a short kick, and it's caught by Ethan Allen.
Taken by Ethan Allen.
And he runs up about 6 yards. He caught it at the 40. One of those little just pooch kicks, see if they catch it, see how they handle it. And they handled it well. Caught at the 41, and that's... He caught it at the 38, returned it to the 41. And that's one of the nice things about being able to schedule this game. This is an opponent that Fairview has played pretty much consistently for the last 70 years.
Yeah.
And good that we're able to schedule a game against a traditional opponent from the old ECL.
Of course, now both teams have turf. You know, when we played them, neither team had turf, and they were terrible fields, full of mud and snow.
All right, Corey's in shotgun again. There's still 10 seconds left here in the first quarter. Unless you're fakes the call, looks over to the sideline, and now it looks like they're making a play adjustment. And it's a shotgun. Unless you're throwing the quick pass. It's up! Still might be. It's, okay, so what happened there was an attempted screen pass, and Logan Frizeo has seen enough of that. It was that same play they've tried to throw to Sam Fisher, and Logan Frizeo's like, I'm going to try to take this.
He had such a beat on that ball.
He had both hands on. It was catchable, sure, but I don't think it was an easy catch. He was able to deflect the pass, make it incomplete. They did not rule it a fumble. It went through or off of Frizeo's hands, out of bounds, like 15 yards back. But they ruled it an incomplete pass. So now there's 7 seconds left. I said the first quarter was about to end about 10 minutes ago. And Lester's once again in the shotgun. They're just going to give it to Weiss this time. He's able to make one guy miss. He's back. He might go all the way. He's being chased by Frizeo. He's at the 30, the 20. Frizeo's catching him, but he's not going to get to him. It's going to be a touchdown as the first quarter ends. And that makes it 25-7. Corry, no flags on the play. They just ran an easy give. And there just weren't a lot of Fairview defenders in that area. Everything was blocked up, and Weiss was able to go the distance.
That's tough. That definitely hurts.
59-yard touchdown.
You know, on that previous play, when Frizeo got his hands on it, you know, it's one of those that it's really tough to call whether that was a backwards pass or not. Looking at the replay, it looks pretty close. You know. So it goes from just a slight difference of us getting a pick six to them.
Lesher keeps it on the 2-point conversion, fakes to Weiss and walks into the end zone to make it 27-7.
At the end of the
frustrating end to the first quarter for
27,
Corry, or for
Fairview
Fairview, as
7.
Corry gets up by 20 now.
Yeah, really frustrating. You know, that interception right off the fingertips, that would have been 6 points for us. Instead, next play, they go 60 yards for a touchdown.
I'm looking at it. Lesher threw it from the 45. That's probably a lateral, but it's very close.
Yeah, it was very close. I mean, I could see why they didn't call it. It was a very quick play.
So we actually got to 5 touchdowns in the first quarter.
I thought 4 was a lot.
And 27-7. Corry, Fairview has not really shown a good ability to stop the Corry offense. And they've actually been scoring easier they scored easier on big plays the last 2 drives. This has happened in a couple games already. Obviously, the Fort LaBeouf games just went haywire pretty quickly. But we've given up touchdowns in the other games, and Corry's much more like Girard Northeast, Mercier's Prep, than they are like Fort LaBeouf, although I think they're better than the trio I mentioned.
Yes, yeah.
But we've been able to keep in games, especially against Mercier's Prep at the beginning of the year, where it looked like the other team was going to run away with it.
And, you know, it's still early. We're only a quarter into this game. Yeah, we're down 3 scores, but we showed a little bit of offensive promise in the last series. It'd be nice to put together a drive, control the clock a little bit, and you know, get down for a score.
Fuller kicks. It's a deep one to Januso, catches it back penalty at the 7. Now he's running for it from the 5. He's at the 20. He gets outside, makes one guy miss, makes another guy miss, eludes a third tackler, stays in bounds, and is knocked out at the 31. A good return. He probably got 3 missed tackles. The flag comes in late. I'm not sure who the flag was
It
on.
may have been a late hit, not necessarily on Januso. I think someone came in and hit one of our guys late in the back.
Block in the back.
It's a block in the back.
87 are kicking
Which
team.
you don't hear block in the back often on a kicking team. Usually that's on the receiving team, but it was just a hit in the back of one of our guys.
Would that be unnecessary roughness?
Yeah, because technically you can only block when you have possession, but yeah, they called it block in the back.
Trying to see.
So right at the end there.
Yeah.
I think it was just
Sam
kind
Work
of
took a hit, I guess.
Yeah.
No one's here to complain from the Fairview side, but I've seen many much worse things
not get called. Yeah, it was kind of at the end of the play. He was kind of pushing the back a little bit. I mean, it was unnecessary. It wasn't a necessary contact, but it also wasn't.
He did not fall over.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't a terrible contact either.
We'll take what we can get, though. It's going to be our second quarter. Let's see if we can have a different forecast here than the first quarter. It's our ball at our own 41. The Januso's return plus a penalty, and it's going to be a counter. There's a penalty flag, and it's Januso who runs into Weiss, tries to strip him. They call him down.
I think
but it's going to
Corbin
be
started the motion before we were set.
Yep.
So it could have been too many men in motion there.
It's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
I think Coach Sobolewski is reminding him of that here.
See, I think that's
Illegal shift. Offense.
So you have to be set
First down.
for a second before you motion. You can't have multiple people. Essentially, if you're not set, then you never became set before the play. So you got multiple people in motion, and they never came set. And you can't do that if it involves 2 people. You can do it involve 1, they come set and motion again. But if they're moving at the same time as another person, that's a illegal shift. So it's now going to be 1st and 15. Corbin's under center and dropping back to pass. Throws the hitch to Frizeo. Logan Frizeo. He catches it for about a 6-yard gain.
Got 5 yards.
Maybe 5. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
5-yard gain on the play.
We had slot over into the boundary there, which is where we had our tight end covered up by Logan Frizeo. So our tight end isn't eligible to go out for a pass. You know, we had success with that against Mercyhurst, running out of it. You know, it kind of gives us a little bit of a numbers advantage. Typically into the boundary, a defense isn't going to have the extra defender, and you know, bringing the tight end over, now you have an extra blocker.
We do have Logan Frizeo on that same the corner McKnight. He's an athletic kid, but Fizeo's got 10 inches on him, so I'm assuming we'll go back to that. Here's Jeremy Frizeo running off the edge. He's not able to get anywhere. The Corry defensive line's able to cut him off before he runs a little jet sweep. It's a loss of about 2.
And we're just struggling to block the edge. You know, on these jet sweeps, whether it's our tight slot or our offensive tackle, we're struggling to reach anybody, and they're coming up and making the play in our backfield. We had a very wide split by Stolzitz there, trying to bring the defender out.
Yeah, we haven't shown that running the ball is going to be a consistent source of offense so far. Now it's 3rd and 12. Corbin's under center. Rolls out to his right. He's got double outs. He's going to run the ball, and he's hit pretty hard at the line. It's maybe a 2-yard gain. He looks to pass, but both receivers were in coverage. It was the Frazeo brothers. So he runs for about a 2-yard gain into the flat before he's tackled. Brings it back to 4th and 10 after the loss earlier. And now we're going to have to punt again. So another 3 and out.
I think Januso was thinking run the entire time because he ran a route 10 yards down the field and just blocked the linebacker.
So now it'll be Logan Frazeo to punt. And it's a low punt. It's rolling end over end down to the 30, the 25. It's inside the 17 where it is picked up by Januso.
Not a pretty punt, but it was effective. You know, pins him inside the 20. But like you said before, we have not shown any inkling of stopping this Corry offense. They've been able to score at will. I think we've only taken them to 3rd down maybe twice. You know, this is the time that our defense is going to need to step up here and get a stop. Maybe force a turnover, interception, or fumble.
And I imagine we're going to see a lot of Landon Weiss here out of the shotgun. That's the play they scored on there in that same formation. I imagine that the way Frazeo jumped on that bubble screen, they are going to be a little less inclined to go that route. But Corry's back to pass. They're running another bubble, and it's a throw to Weiss, but it's incomplete. Malinowski was all over Weiss as he tried to run a little flare pass.
We definitely had good coverage on that. However, if you know, I mean, this is a big if, but if that's a perfectly thrown ball, I think Weiss could have come down with it and had a little bit of running room in front of him. But we had good coverage on the receivers down the field, and Malinowski was right in the hip of Weiss there.
It's going to be 2nd and 10. They're in trips for Lasher. All to his left, and Weiss is also to his left. We'll see if they run that little toss they run here. And that's what it's going to be, that toss. Malinowski gets outside, and Stolzitz gets a hand on him. Another defender's there.
Malinowski did a great job of having him turn it back in. I mean, he came up, played D-gap, forced Weiss to have to cut back inside where the other defenders were.
3-yard gain on the play.
Still got 3 to 4 yards on it.
But so 3rd and 7. This is a great opportunity to stop Corry. We're still deep in their territory, so I imagine they don't want to go for it. They want to play pretty conservative with their lead. We got to get the stop first.
Yeah, I imagine they're going to throw the ball here. They've shown that they can throw the ball, with that slant out of the slot receiver. Those bubble passes, the swing pass.
Lasher throws to his right, throws to Fisher, who catches it, eludes one, and he's now off to the races. Tyler Work is going to cut him off. He eludes Tyler Work. The only one who's going to has a chance is the tally, but he's going to outrun him, and Fisher's into the end.
It looks like we have some injured players in the center of the field here. I think 2 of our defenders ran into each other.
It's a 70-some yard touchdown. Lesher to Fisher. The injured Fairview players are getting up.
Frazeo and
he's limping a little bit. He just looks a little bit phased. I wouldn't even he just looks uncomfortable more than seriously injured. Another defender is down. A Fairview player is down. But the score is now 33-7 here with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. That they ran that same slant. Luke just talked about it. They were able to execute, and part of executing is having the coach drop a good play to get some yardage. And the second part of it is what can the athlete do with what's going on, and he was able to take a slant and make it a touchdown.
Yeah. If we if we made the tackle right at first contact there, he may have been short of the first down, but he was pretty close to the first down marker. But 2 defenders coming in to make the tackle actually hit each other off of the tackle, and we've seen Fisher and his ability to move, and another big touchdown for Corry.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like they're going to go for 2 again to make it a back to normal looking 35-7. And it's as the Fairview player, I didn't see who it was. It walked off.
I think it was Ethan Locks.
It was locked. It's a handoff to Weiss on going for 2, and he's in.
2-point conversion is good.
Tackled by Calvin Smith as he falls in, but he does get the 2-point conversion. 35-7 Corry. And so far, Fairview's had a lot of fun games this year. We've had a couple that haven't been fun. This is shaping up like the not fun one so far.
Like I said before, though, there's still a lot of time. I mean, we're only 3 minutes into the second quarter here.
They've had, I think, 3 big plays to lead to their touchdowns.
Yeah.
A long run and 2 long passes. 2 long runs. They've had Weiss with the toss sweep left, Weiss with the 70-yard touchdown, and then 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah, so really
to
four of their touchdowns here have been big plays, and that one was a little bit of a backbreaker on a 3rd and long. Getting a big play like that.
And this Fisher kid, Sam Fisher, he's only a junior. He's one of those kids where maybe 25 years ago he's just a good featured player because he's a wide receiver in a run-oriented league. But he's one of the players that's perfectly designed for modern high school football. It's a lot of space, put people in space, let them use their athleticism and avoid contact, and that's what he's very good at doing. So another kick from the amazingly named Steele Fuller. He's going to kick to the same trio of Fairview Tigers. This one is going to go out of bounds. Actually, it was Logan Fazeo was standing where his brother normally does, but it's going to go into the end zone. It's going to be Fairview ball.
So we'll start this drive on the 20 with just under 9 minutes left in the second quarter. I knew we were going to have our hands full coming into this game with Corry, and I knew that they were going to be a team that was better than their record. I did not anticipate, something quite like this early in the game, but we'll see. We'll see how the Tigers can respond here.
And often these games are not as funny if you can't come back, but they show a lot more. How are you going to respond?
Yeah.
And that's the reason we love high school sports, one of them. How are you going to respond when there's adversity, when the situation's not going well, and what are you going to do? Are you going to get up and just do your job? And here's a handoff to Zablotny. He gets by one defender, and he is met by the second one. Not sure who that was, but it's a gain of about 1 on just a dive up the middle.
Zablotny had a little bit of a gap there.
Brought down by number 21, Levi Tasker.
Just that one defender came off and was able to kind of stand him up in the hole.
Okay.
You get credit for time. Heard his name.
One of those. Fairview's had a couple of those plays when we've been on defense where it's like, oh, they got a gap, and then all of a sudden a defender fills it. That's kind of what happened there. It's linebacker getting off a block or not being blocked at all and just getting to the play.
Yeah.
Corbin runs a toss sweep. This is to Malinowski. Fumbles. He's in the backfield. He's picked up by somebody from Corry, and he has stumbled into the end zone for the touchdown. A huge play for Corry. Not that they needed it, but a great play. I'm not sure.
That
was picked up by number 18.
I think the toss was clean. Looking on.
Yeah, Ethan Allen picked it up for the touchdown. Malinowski caught the toss, but then he was met by a defender in the backfield, and that defender knocked the ball away. Malinowski picks it up. Allen picks it up, and he's surrounded by Corry guys who are essentially parading him into the end zone. The fumble was at about the 10 or 15-yard line. So things are going off the rails for Fairview. It's now 41-7 Corry pending the extra point. And they have the extra point kicker back on. Steele Fuller kicks, and it's up and
looks good. He has
well
quite
struck.
the leg.
Fuller's kick is good.
That may have gone outside of the fence there.
It's 42-7. Corry now. They've got 6 touchdowns on 5 drives now. So once again, we're obviously a win seems to be getting further and further out of reach, but you can see how you can respond. Is 35 the mercy rule, or is it above 35?
I think 35 is the mercy rule.
So we'll see if the Mercy. I think it's in the second half.
You don't get a running clock in the first half.
So I'll see. That's always something. Unfortunately, I have some experience with getting blown out. So a thing you could always fight is, hey, we're gonna do our best to make this game competitive. That's a laudable goal right now. Is to, hey, can we make this a 3-touchdown game? And if you make it a 3-touchdown game, then you can say, can we win the game? But right now the goal is to just make it a 3-touchdown game.
Yeah, and when you're down in a hole like this, you got to take it one drive at a time. You can't look at the 35-point deficit, and it's just one drive at a time. Let's make this drive positive. Let's move the ball. Let's score. And then when we're on defense, let's try to get a stop. We did get a penalty on the illegal substitution on that extra point there, so it's going to give an extra 5 yards.
For Fuller, who put it in the end zone just a moment ago.
Yeah, so I imagine if he gets a hold of this one, it's going to be another touchback.
He's a kicker. He's 6'2", 190.
It's a good-sized kicker.
That's one thing I've noticed. Their line's large. They're not insanely big, but their skill position players
are much bigger than
and they're not overweight kids. They're just big kids. Weiss, Lesher, the quarterback. And this kick is going to be taken by Januso. He tiptoes into the end zone as he catches it.
Yeah, in high school, if the ball ever breaks the plane of the end zone, it's an automatic touchback. Even though Januso fielded it and intended to run out, if that ball crosses that plane, it's an automatic touchback.
All right, so it's going to be Fairview ball at the 20. 8 minutes left now, so still a ton of time.
And this is one of those things, like we said before, we're not looking at the scoreboard. We're just looking at, let's make this a positive drive. We showed some time of being able to have some success on offense, so let's try to string together some positive plays on offense.
It's going to be a jet sweep to Januso, and he gets about a yard. He's tackled by Weiss and a defensive lineman from Corry. Weiss did a good job of defeating the block and forcing Januso up the side and making the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, once again, we are just struggling to really get slope on the edge on these jet sweeps. And the toss that we had the fumble on the last series, we had contact there on Weiss on the edge, but like you said, he defeated the block and made the tackle. It's just we're having difficulty there.
It's hard to believe this is a losing team because they look. Maybe we're getting their best performance, but they are firing on all cylinders and they have pieces. They're doing a great job.
But we said that about Northeast last week. We did not think they were a 1-5 team.
Before the play, it was going to be an option pitch to
looks like it was delay a game.
It was delay a game on Fairview, so we're going to go back to 2nd and 14. Again, from their performance, there's been no mistakes by Corry, and I think it's fair to say, anybody would say from Fairview's side, that this has not been our best performance. A lot of penalties, a lot of mistakes, turnovers. Just nothing's really going our way at this point. Some of it's our own fault, but certainly some of it's just Corry putting a lot of pressure on us.
Yeah, even though we have that one scoring drive, I doubt if we have 50 yards of offense right now.
You take away the deep play to Frizeo.
Yeah, and we definitely don't.
All right, 2nd and 14. Corbin under center again. Quick drop back. And Corbin is sacked almost immediately at the 10-yard line. We were at the 17, so it's a loss of 7. So that's going to make it 3rd and 20.
Ethan Allen with the sack.
It's Ethan Allen again, the guy who just scored the touchdown on the fumble recovery. They've shown.
And Allen, he came from a blitzing back who just came right through the A-gap, and our back who has that A-gap protection just whiffed on the block, so he was untouched right in Corbin's face. Didn't even have a chance to set up the throw.
It looked like it was going to be a fade.
It looked like he was going to Logan Frizeo deep.
It's 3rd and 21. And it's the blocking up the middle, and he is stuffed immediately by the Corry defensive tackle, and it's a loss of about a yard. So we move backwards again. All right, it's going to be 4th and 20. I'll do some math here. 4th and 23.
Sending on the punt team.
So Fairview will be punting. 5:50 left. And so this is an opportunity for the defense to get a stop, to feel a little bit better. Once obviously we had to get the punt, return, and tackle, and all that. But
Looks like we only have 10 guys out on the field there. So we're sending another one out. Might get a, this is not a legal formation.
Fazio's punts it good. It's high. It doesn't go that far. It lands at about the Fairview 30. It's caught by Fisher at the 36, and he's tackled immediately. Januso and Stalzitz are on him.
I guess that was a legal formation. We were able to get in Kyle Nichols there.
As a wingback.
Yeah, as a wing.
I'm sure he'll be happy to say when he tells people, I played wing. I played wingback.
I'm pretty sure in high school you're not allowed to have
a number of
an ineligible number in the backfield, but the referees are going to let that slide.
Go defense!
All right, so they have the ball at 36 again, so they have a short field. I imagine we're going to get just very conservative play calls considering the situation from Corry, but they've been scoring with conservative play calls.
And you know what? I think that rule, I think you can on special teams because of punt. So maybe it was a legal formation.
Lesser gives to Weiss, who makes one guy miss. He's out into the secondary. There's a hold. He's going to score, but it looks like a flag is going to bring it back. So that was a 36-yard touchdown. Just a simple dive, and they're able to wash out the right side of the defensive line, but it looks like one of those washout blocks was a hold, and it's going to come back.
And it's times like this. You mentioned it before that you want your leaders just to step up and kind of rally the troops to, like, come on guys, let's have a little pride. Let's get a stop. All right, don't look at the scoreboard. Let's just get a stop.
This play.
Yeah, let's just worry about this play. Everyone do your job on this play, and let's make them snap the ball one more time.
It's 1st and 15 now, and this is one of the things. Like, you try to describe momentum, the concept, and like Fairview, it's not like the kids aren't trying, but Corry feels enlivened by the way things are going. Fairview's obviously frustrated, and this is where your mental toughness comes in. Simply say, all right, this is probably not going to be a game we're going to win, but how are we going to handle it? And right now they're getting a lot more push than they were earlier in the game, and that's going to be on Fairview to step up and bring it at least back to where we were in the beginning of the game in terms of the push on the line. There we go. That's a positive play as Weiss goes directly up the middle. He's tackled first by Stalzitz, and then a host of Fairview tacklers get there. Sussman's involved. There were a number of guys. The Blotny jumped on. So that's the exact type of play we were looking for.
And that's a positive play, and you get the guys in the huddle, and you congratulate them on a nice stop, and then you say, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's just keep it going.
It's 2nd and 12 now. It's still a gain of 3 because Weiss is a great player, and you get him in the backfield. He falls forward for 3 yards.
One thing to also keep in mind, this is Corry's last game of the season. So they've got a little extra motivation where we do have one more game next week. But Corry, this is their last chance to play together as a team.
This is in shotgun. He keeps it. He fakes to Weiss, and he's tackled immediately by Malinowski for a gain of maybe a yard. It's going to make it 3rd and 11. And yeah, it's one thing point on that is Weiss is a great tailback, and they're probably going to want to make sure he has a great game and gets a couple more opportunities to score. Where if they're middle of the season, they'd be like, well, keep him healthy. Obviously, no one's looking to run up scores, but this time you can kind of understand if they want to get him a couple more touchdowns. Because the last time he's ever going to wear a Corry football jersey. But 3rd and 11 here is a passing situation. 3:20 left in the second quarter. If you just tuned in, it's been all Corry. Corry's up 42-7. Lesher drops back to pass.
A little bit of pressure happening.
It looks like they're running a screen. It's Fisher who tries out. He does outrun Logan Fazio, and he gets down to the 10, the 5, and he's into the end zone. Another touchdown for Fisher.
37-yard touchdown play.
It's just a shallow crossing route.
We talked about Weiss coming into this game and his ability to run the ball, but so far, Fisher's putting on a clinic of yards after the catch.
So that makes it 48-7 now. That was just threw it probably 4 yards downfield, and he was running laterally, just able to elude a lot of Fairview tacklers with his speed and his quickness. Fuller on for the extra point. He duffs it into the line, and that's going to leave it at 48-7. Still 3 minutes left in the second quarter in this one. Corry up on Fairview by 41 points.
Yeah, that was, like you said, it was a shallow route, but you know, it just showed Fisher's athleticism of really being able to outrun the defender and make a big play.
He's a little bit like Januso. But what the difference so far has been, he's been put in a position. He just probably because of strategy and a little bit of luck, he's been put in positions where he can use that elusiveness, where Januso hasn't really been able to. He keeps getting bottled up.
And we've had a couple of those scenarios where we've tried to get Januso in that position with some of those pass plays, and we just haven't been able to connect. And you know, like you said, he hasn't been given the opportunity to demonstrate his athleticism in the open field because he is getting bottled up in those jet sweeps where in the past we've been able to get him out in space. We just haven't been able to do that tonight.
And that goes to how much when you watch it on Sunday or on Saturday, football comes, you hear about the skill position players. Part of the reason that's happening is we're talking about Fisher and Weiss, but Corry's winning their linemen are having a great game as well, and they're often winning the battle to start the play. All right, here's the deep kick from Fuller, taken by Januso at the 5, coming forward to the 15. He gets to the 25, eludes one tackler, down to the 28, where he's hit by a couple Corry guys. So now 3 minutes left, another opportunity to try to get a first down.
He makes it to the 28-yard line. First and 10 Tigers.
You get the 28 on the left hash. Fairview's heading towards the south end zone. We're in a huddle. You have a couple different options here if you're Coach Sobolewski. It's going to be a couple run plays in halftime aren't terrible when the momentum is so much against you, but you also want to have some positive plays.
You know, you definitely don't want to give the ball back to Corry in this half.
Corbin fakes the keep and gets about 2 yards. Fakes the dive and then keeps him. Sorry, he gets about 2 yards, tackled up the middle by a host of Corry guys.
3-yard gain.
You definitely want to maintain possession, run the clock down, you know, get some positive yards, and not give Corry the possession. They're going to start the second half with the ball, you know.
And we'll see. This might be 4-down territory too. With the way they've scored, you're not that much concerned about field position, unfortunately. Corbin puts Januso in motion, keeps it again. He's around the right side. He's able to elude the first tackler who had a grip of his jersey, but he only gains about 2 yards before he's brought down. It's going to make it 3rd and 6.
Makes to the 32-yard line.
Yes, maybe a gain of 1. He's over at the sideline fixing his shoulder pad. He was one of those where the D-lineman, he eluded him, but the D-lineman got his hands on the jersey, pulled the jersey off the shoulder pad, spun him around. He was able to get away, but then his shoulder...
That slowed him up enough for the defense to get there.
His jersey was all messed up. It just got fixed, and he's getting the play. 3rd and 6 now, 3rd and 7, somewhere in there. And a give to Zablotny, which goes nowhere. He loses maybe a half yard. It's going to make it 4th and 7 for sure. We'll see if we're going to punt it. Clock is running with 1:13 left. Corry might try to score a couple more touchdowns. I don't imagine they're going to try to do anything too aggressive.
No.
Although,
but we've seen they can score in just one run play.
Yeah, they're not going to call any plays, the coaches, but I guarantee you Fisher is going to try to score on this punt return. Yeah,
it would be nice if Rizzo could angle it away from him. You know, get that end over end kick and get a good bounce.
Rizzo's punt is a high one, away from Fisher though. It bounces. He's going to pick it up at the 42, to the 45, and jumps forward before he's tackled at it looks like Malinowski at the Fairview 48. 35 seconds left in the half, with Corry up 48-7.
Now I imagine Corry will just take a knee here, or just run the ball. We have to be prepared because they just on any given play, they can definitely score.
I think if they ran a deep pass here, we'd have a right to be annoyed. But if they gave it to Weiss and he runs for a touchdown, we don't really have much of a right to be annoyed. We got to make a tackle on that. And they're in shotgun. with Lesher with Weiss next to him, 3 wide receivers. I don't think they have enough guys in the line of scrimmage, but just a handoff to Weiss. He's through, and he's tackled for about a 5-yard gain. Looks like Nesselhoff and Sussman on the tackle.
And it looks like they might just let this run out, possibly.
Yeah.
At least they can, with the play clock.
They're able
to let this run out.
Yeah, I don't believe they're going to run a play. So this hasn't been the half we were looking for, and I think that's an understatement. It's been all Corry moving the ball up and down the field. One exception has been a fair touchdown pass from Corbin to Logan Frazeo, about a 50-yard touchdown, maybe 45-yard touchdown. 48-7 Corry at half. They'll be getting the ball at the beginning of the second half, and Fairview's got to figure out. And we got a lot to talk about at halftime to try to figure out a way to put a good face forward in the second half. We'll check back in after halftime with some stats and maybe some scores from the area. All right, welcome back to Fairview High School. Halftime's over. If you're just tuning in, I don't have great news for you. It's been all Corry so far between Corry and Fairview. Our Tigers we got one big play, a touchdown from Corbin to Logan Fazeo, 46-yard touchdown pass. With the exception of that, it has been all Corry. They're up 48-7. They've got turnovers to touchdowns, a couple long passes, a couple long runs.
A defensive touchdown.
Defensive touchdown. It hasn't been great. We haven't been able to get really any momentum, and Corry's been able to kind of impose their will. And so I don't think anyone's kidding themselves, and our goal is not to win the game the second half, it's to come out and win the half and make this, right now it's a 41-point game. If we can make it a 30-point game, that'd be a victory. So we're unfortunately kicking off to start the second half, so we're going to have to get a stop first.
And like you said, you know, the scoreboard is not something we're looking at for the rest of this half. It's just trying to come away with some positive takeaways moving into our last week, next week against Franklin, another home game, and, you know, just trying to end the season off on a positive note. He's lining up with a short kick.
Yeah, he just does that little pooch kick. Let's see what happens. The ball's going to land. Are we going to get to it? No, it gets out of bounds.
Almost.
I'm not sure who that was. That was Tyler Work, now that I see it, who was trying to get a hand on the ball. It scooted out of bounds before he could get his hands on it. It's going to be their ball at the 35-yard line. That's one thing. You don't really worry about field position when they've been scoring, so you can try to get the ball in the kickoff. Maybe go for it on fourth down here and there. But I'm sure Corry's a good team, but I don't think this has been Fairview's best showing in any way whatsoever. And I'm sure that Coach Sobolewski let the team know at halftime.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, Corry is definitely a good team. I think the only team we've faced better than them so far this year would possibly be Fort LaBeouf. I don't know if they are a 41-point better than us team in one half, but they definitely are the better team.
All right, Lester's in the shotgun. They have trips left. There's typical formation with Weiss next to him. And it's going to be a handoff to Weiss. And he is tackled in the backfield. A great start for Fairview. A loss of about one. I'm trying to see who's getting up.
Looks like it's tackled by Nesselhoff, maybe?
Nesselhoff got his hands on him in the backfield.
1 yard line.
Loss of one.
And that's just a great way to have a senior leader, you know, kind of take charge and just go out and still give it his all every play. And you know, just take it one play at a time. I
noticed we were in a different defensive alignment there. It looked to be all man-to-man across the board. That allows us to put an extra guy in the box.
That allowed us to actually put 5 guys up on the line of scrimmage there.
So maybe, I'm not as good as the defensive front as you are, Luke, but maybe we have a different strategy at least.
Yeah, now we have 6 guys up front and only 1 linebacker.
Lester gives to Weiss. He's able to get outside. He avoids a number of tackles, and he is...
Sussman comes down.
Yeah, chased down and mollywopped by Sussman as he crosses the 50-yard line, gets down to the 40. Good hustle by the lineman.
You know, one disadvantage when you have a stacked line of scrimmage like that, in that case, we had 6 guys up at the line of scrimmage and then 1 linebacker. You know, you have the potential of getting what we had on the first play, tackle in the backfield. But then if the runner gets through that first line of defense, there's no one there at that second line. And so it forces a lineman or somebody to have to chase down from behind and ends up a big gain for Corry.
That's what it was, especially when you have a good runner like Weiss. It's not like Fairview guys weren't around him, but he's able to elude them, run through tackles, and get the first down. Now we have a motion, and here comes Fisher on the little shovel pass. He comes across. He's going to be tackled way in the backfield. That's Malinowski. Tackled for about a 10-yard loss, perhaps, 9-yard loss.
And Chris Plotz.
It was just a jet sweep. Plotz was in there, too. And one of those shovel passes as he came across is actually a forward pass. And you expect that Fisher's been pretty successful with those, but on this play, Malinowski was the quicker one. Got to his legs quickly and pulled him down for a 9-yard loss. 2nd and 19.
You know, Malinowski was able to come up. He defeated the block of an offensive tackle, then defeated a block of a back that was coming to try to set the edge. Continued to rip across face, get outside, turned Fisher inside, and made the tackle. You know, great textbook play by Malinowski there.
It's going to be a timeout by Corry. They had something drawn up at 2nd and 19. I don't know if their coach liked it.
And it looked like the play clock was getting close to 0 as well.
So it was a near delay of game. Corry has something I've never seen before. They have a cart that they haul around with all the water on it. I don't know if that's a COVID thing. Or...
Yeah, it's like a little wheelbarrow that
doesn't have a front wheel. It's just dragged around by a staff member or a student. I'm not sure.
Yeah, interesting.
They quickly broke the huddle, so I don't think there was anything more than just the play clock that's the problem. But 2nd and 19. 2nd and 19 sounds good, but in this situation, they've opened it up and they've gotten Fisher into space, and he's been able to make big plays.
You know, any of those underneath passes to Fisher are just dangerous. You know, they can score. And notice that we've backed off and we have 3 linebackers now.
We have a deep free safety, too, in Jeremy Frizeo. Dropping back. Lester, it's
Getting
a slant.
some pressure.
He looks for his receiver, McKnight, who cuts in front of Natali. The pass is incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and 19.
You know, defense got some pressure in his face there, and you know, just with rushing 4 guys, we were able to create some pressure. You know, forced that quick throw, and it was a little inaccurate, and got the incomplete pass.
They're right at the 50-yard line, so the ball's just off the Tiger paw. And Lesher is again in shotgun. I think he's been shotgun every play. He's rolling out to his right, looking to throw. He throws Ethan Allen in the flat. Allen has the catch. He's going to get out and be pushed out of bounds by Logan Frizeo. Tyler works there as well, about 5 yards short. It's going to leave it 4th and 5, 35. I imagine they're going to go for it.
Yeah, you know, in this part of the field, I don't think they feel any threat of giving us a short field to work with. And you know, picking up 4 yards is not a hard task for them.
We'll see what defense we're in. It looks like we're going to be in that man-to-man with no free safety. Puts an extra guy in the box.
You can hear our sideline yelling, "Watch the ball!" You know, and offsides would.
We moved, but we didn't jump.
We didn't cross the plane. Remember, in high school, if you cross the plane, it's an automatic penalty. It's not like the pros where you can get back.
Lesher gives to Weiss, who gets the first down. It looks like gain of about 5. They needed 4.
It was a great second effort there. We made contact short of the line to gain, but Weiss with his leg drive just took a host of tacklers with him to get that first down.
It's gonna be. They got right to the 30, and so a big 3rd down made it a much more digestible for Corry 4th down. So they're gonna have the ball at our 30-yard line, 1st down. With 8 minutes now left in the 3rd quarter, and once again Corry up 48-7 and driving.
I will say the 3rd quarter is going a lot faster than the 1st and 2nd quarter. We're already into under 8 minutes.
Weiss with the dive, tackled by Sussman.
I think the running clock has something to do with that, but
it's a 5-yard gain, maybe just another dive. So nice that we get a D lineman making the play. The problem is a 4-yard gain with the tackle by a D lineman that's a positive play for Corry at the end. It's something that they take. It's not going to stop them. Lesher again in shotgun.
Looks like they're trying to use up a lot of the play clock here.
They're waiting until 10, it looks like, to snap the ball. But it's a keep by Lesher. He fixed away. He's got some space. Tackled by Zablotny. Another Fairview defender's in there.
He's tackled by Zablotny.
It's going to be a 1st down again, just a keeper after the fake. One of those old traditional zone read kind of deals where he doesn't give it to Weiss, who runs right, and so he goes left. There's not a defender there for at least the first 5 yards before Zablotny folds over to get hands on him.
You know, Corry is going no huddle, but by no means is it a hurry-up offense. They just kind of call the play from the line of scrimmage.
It's going to be that toss sweep to Weiss up the left side. He runs up the middle. He runs through the first contact, gets down to the 6th.
Tackled by Calvin Smith.
Calvin Smith with the tackle. It's going to be 2nd and 1.
9-yard gain on the play.
And it looks like they're going to get another touchdown here unless Fairview makes a play. They've just been running steady, simple plays. You're losing by this amount. You want to get mad so the other team's being cheap about it or running up the score. For Corry's not. They're just running regular plays, and they have to get big yardage. And this is, remember, their senior tailback's last game he's ever going to play in a Corry uniform. It's a keeper by Lesher, though. Picks up the 1st down. A gain of about 2.
He gets the 1st down. He's tackled by Malinowski.
They'll make it first and goal from the 8 or 9 yard line here.
Sam Malinowski got the tackle.
First and goal from the 9.
You know, we are making Corry work a little more for this drive, you know, more so than we did in the first half, but still not stopping them on 3rd or 4th down. We did get the 1 3rd down stop, but they then converted on 4th.
So first and goal from the 9. It's going to be a toss sweep, and Weiss makes Malinowski miss in the backfield. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. That could have been a 4-yard loss, but
Malinowski's coming up, hobbling a little bit. He went low on Weiss. And, Weiss is a big kid. You know, that's not an easy tackle. And
yeah, you're throwing a 5'9", 160-pound sophomore against a 6'2", 210 experienced senior.
Yeah, that's tough.
And he hits him, but Weiss is able to shake it off and get back to the line of scrimmage. Second down, we'll see if they try to pass here. They have a sweep coming, or a motion coming across, and it's going to be a give to Weiss up the middle. He's through the first line, but he's tackled as he gets through. Looks like Zablotny makes the tackle. It's going to leave it at 3rd and 4. Nesselhoff was there as well. Obviously, it's 2-down territory for them, and I imagine we're just going to get two carries by either Lesher or Weiss.
I could also see them trying to get Weiss another touchdown here for his last game, and you know, if they don't get much yardage, I could also see the Corry coach sending out their kicker. They have a kicker with a good leg to get a field goal here.
This is their last game, so yeah, this would probably be their kicker's last field goal attempt of the season. Motion into trips, and it's a give to Weiss. He's at the 2. He's fighting. He's down. So it's going to be 4th and goal.
Good stop. I mean, Weiss was definitely trying to drive through there, but we got enough tacklers to the point of attack to bring him down for only a short gain. So it is 4th down. Looks like the offense is going to stay out there.
Nesselhoff had him down low. I think Calvin Smith was there up top, and there were other defenders to bring it down. So 4th and goal. It's not been the game Fairview wanted so far, but this is a chance for somebody to make a play and get a positive result on a Corry drive. Corry ball, 4th and 2. They're in the middle of the field, and they're in shotgun again with Lesher next to Weiss, the tailback, or running back, I guess. And Lesher gives it to Weiss. He runs up the middle.
He did slip in. It looked like they were going to get the stop.
Zablotny was there. There were a couple D linemen, but he's able to do what he is good at and get into the end zone for the touchdown, making it 54-7. That ugly 54 is now up on the scoreboard.
I imagine that's the last play we see Weiss in, but you never know.
Yeah, the calculus gets different for a player's last game. The extra point is up and good, making it 55-7.
Well, his kick is good.
So we'll see if maybe he stays in on defense. They don't give him the ball that much. They let another tailback run. We'll see. And I keep saying tailback. Tailback's the thing of the past. He's just a running back. There's no I formation here.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the first we see of Fairview's offense. There's 3 minutes, 17 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. I think we only had about 50 total yards just over, and 46 of that came on that big touchdown pass. So we'll see if we can
see if our offense can
drive.
Get something going here. And once again, just looking to have, just some positive plays on this drive. And I know that letting up another touchdown on that last drive wasn't something that we wanted, but I still think there was some positive improvement. Taking them to 3rd down, stopping them on 3rd down twice, making them go for it on 4th twice. It was a little bit of an improvement.
As the kick is lined up, and we have the Frizeo, Januso, and work deep. Januso has the kick at the 7.
To the 6-yard line.
He gets up to the 25. He's got a hole. He's got some space. He tries to cut to his right side. He's tackled at about the 35. It was well blocked up before he got to the second line of defenders. They wasn't able to get through him. So we'll see. 1st and 10 at the Fairview 35. And we'll see what adjustments have been made, if we can get some positive forward momentum here. We'll also try to keep an eye on you if any notable players get substitutions. But it looks like the same Fairview offense is in. It looks like we are having an issue with our substitutions, but now we're good. Giovanni Vitale is lined up at the slot receiver. Corbin hands off to Zablotny up the middle. He makes one lineman miss. He's still fighting forward and gets about 2 or 3 yards. A nice run before he's tackled by a number of Corry defenders.
Looks like Corey's made a few substitutions on the defensive end, but not a whole lot. There's still a lot of starters out there.
Yeah, the players that I recognize, the ones that have been making plays.
Yeah,
Fisher's out there, Weiss is out there, Ethan Allen's out there, McKnight's out there. I'm not as good on the D linemen because I don't have to memorize their names as much, but it's still a bunch of big D linemen. And on turf, you can never see if there's grass stains. That's how you could always tell when the subs came.
Yeah, that's true.
Handoff again to Zablotny. He runs into a host of tacklers, gets maybe a gain of 1. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
40.
Corbin's walking over to Coach Soboleski. Probably going to be 2-down territory. Try to get the first down here.
Yeah, try to have 2 solid runs. You know, imagine seeing either a keeper on one of these or you know, a jet sweep, a toss, or a pitch off of the option. Try to get something on the edge.
Twins and the 2 receivers are Work and Logan Frazeo. Corbin has Januso in motion. We run an option. Corbin keeps it up the middle, gets maybe 1 before he's tackled. It's going to leave it at 4th and 4. Soboleski is pacing. I think he's calling Corbin over to. We're going to go for it. There's really no downside here.
Yeah, field position isn't much of a concern here.
1:22 left in the 3rd quarter. Fairview down by a lot, 55-7. We are in unbalanced into the boundary again with Tyler Work and Logan Frazeo as the 2 wide receivers. And we're giving it to Januso coming around the right side. He eludes one guy. He's very close to the first down. We'll see where they spot it. The referee
on the other side gives the first down. Looks like he may have given him the first.
Yeah, and the umpires.
Oh, and
they've decided it's a first down.
Yeah.
It was very close.
First down,
It was Januso had. We've talked about Landon Weiss, how good of a player he is. It was Januso versus Landon Weiss for the first down, and Januso won that battle. Januso did not win that battle by running through Landon Weiss. He won it by running around Weiss. He did a good job of using his skill set to get the first. So that's our first down in a while. 1st and 10 from the 45. It's going to be a give to Work around the left end. He gets past the first guy. He's got a first down. He's down the sideline. He's tackled down in Corry territory at the 40-yard line. Tyler Work with a gain of 15 on, I think, his first carry of the day.
Showed a little burst of speed there, you know, speed that we know Work has. You know, oftentimes we see it on special teams on returns, but nice little burst of speed. He's able to get outside of the defender on the edge that we've really struggled to block so far tonight. Clock is running. Looks like we will get 1 more play off in this 3rd quarter.
Corbin under center again. And we're running option. Corbin's keeping it. He's through the first line. He gets about a gain of 7 or 8. Tackled by Weiss. After the option works perfectly, a little midline. And that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. It's still just 1 touchdown in that quarter. I think that's the lowest scoring quarter.
Yeah.
Of the clock. So far. And it's 55-7 Corry, but Fairview is driving a good positive possession
drive,
so far. 2nd and 4. We're going to switch, start heading towards the north end zone. Corry just scored the north end zone, so now we're switching.
And this is like you said, you know, our goal here is just to win this half. You know, we're down 7-0 this half. You know, if we finish this drive and end up scoring, and that can bring it back to even. And you know, if it ended even in the half, I would say that's a win for us. Considering we ran a 41-point differential in the first half.
We talked about this at halftime. It is hard to believe this team, and I think I heard twice, battled Northeast right down to the wire. Northeast, I feel like if we played Northeast again, that would be a great matchup. It would be a fun game. I would say it'd probably be a toss-up.
Yeah.
But when Northeast plays Corry, it's a toss-up. And when we play Corry, it is not
a toss-up. And, you know, that just speaks to variation in matchups. You know, right now the matchups are definitely in Corry's favor tonight. Now, we have a few guys missing. You know, that's going to make a difference, but not a huge difference. And, you know, Corry came ready to play tonight.
All right, 2nd and 4. The fourth quarter is about to start. Corbin under center.
Go Tigers!
And it's going to be a false start, I think. They didn't call it. It's just a give to Zablotny of about 3.
I guess they considered that it was motion, but the way he jerked and stopped, that should have been called as a false start.
Yeah, that's one of those, and it looks like a player's down.
Oh, is that Logan Frizeo?
I think it's Kyle Nichols. He's down holding his shoulder.
I saw a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kyle Nichols.
On that play, Januso started to motion, and you're always taught if you start to motion, or Luke was never taught because they never let him be out in space, but you're always taught to, if you start the motion, you continue it. If you're not going anywhere, just continue it real slow.
Yes.
That way it's not it's technically a motion. He immediately confessed to the fact that he false started essentially by stopping and looking around like, uh-oh, but the referees didn't call it.
And you got to imagine at this point in the game, you know, the officials are going to let little things slide. You know, because it's not going to have a distinct advantage on one side or another.
Prep leads Hollidaysburg 26-0.
And another local score, Prep's up 26-0 on Hollidaysburg. It looks like they're going to win their first playoff game and advance deeper into the state playoffs. I think a lot of the other local games are tomorrow. I know McDowell and Erie's tomorrow after Erie had to do their 3 practices Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is the rule for football that you have to do that before you. I don't know if it's just for football. I only know of it specifically for football, but you have to do 3 practices before you play. And they've had obviously some COVID issues in the school. I don't think on the team. As Nichols gets up, he seems to be moving okay. Nicole's looking at his shoulder, but no real. He's not holding it weird or anything like that.
Yeah.
He seems to be moving okay.
You know, one thing to consider here, Kyle, is our center. So now we're going to have a different center making the center quarterback exchange. You know, something that you take for granted a lot, and when you switch that up, it can definitely cause some issues. So Corbin was getting some snaps from Sussman on the side here, which looks like he's going to be the one filling in at center for him.
And he is lining up at center. 3rd and 2. You imagine we got 2 plays here to try to get this first down. Right there, 32. And it's going to be a give to Zablotny, gain of nothing. It's hit right away. It's going to be 4th and 2 as the clock runs down to 11:30.
You know, we had a good double team inside there, got some movement on the D lineman, but no one came off for the linebacker, which, you know, he was able to make the play and, you know, pretty much cause no gain.
You might have heard the name a couple times. It's Ethan Allen. He's the linebacker who's making a lot of plays for them. He's only a sophomore. So they're losing their tailback, their feature back. But they have a lot of players. The quarterback's a junior. The big receiver's a junior. As we have a keeper for Corbin, he gets the first down and more.
He does get the first down.
He fakes to Zablotny. Zablotny takes a bunch of hits for him, and then Corbin.
He did take a few hits. And, you know, Corbin took a couple hits before he came down, too.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a good hard run by Corbin there to pick up that first down yardage.
But it's going to be first down at the 28 as I think Corry has started to substitute a little bit. You see big guys jog off the field and slightly not as big guys wearing like number 71 jog on. That's one of the ways you can figure out that the substitutes are coming in.
Yeah.
Fairview has Corbin under center, and he keeps it. He's off the right side. He's tackled. He's hit at least, and he gets about 2 yards. It's one of those where another play where it looks like there's a hole. It looks like he's got space, and then Corry does a great job of closing the gap.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he had space on the edge there. But, you know, good defensive play by the end. He was able to come off the block and wrap up Corbin.
So it's now 2nd and 8. Running clock, so we're under 10 minutes, and we're down deep. We're at their 27. Fairview started subbing a little, but this is going to be a toss to Tyler Work. Trying to outrun Fisher. He's not going to be able to do that. Fisher makes a great play, gets the tackle. It's going to be a loss of about 4.
Pretty big loss there. Work was able to use his speed a few plays ago on this series to get around the edge. Was not able to on that one.
Guy number 7.
Now 3rd and 13, probably a passing situation. And Corbin's still in the center. They haven't done any shotgun. Now they might not because their center's not. I don't think it's currently in the game. But it's going to be a keeper by Corbin off the right edge, cuts up field, gets down to about the 27. Looks like there's a fumble, and it was recovered by Corry. It's going to be their ball, which is going to stop the drive, obviously. 8:51 left in the game. Corry's going to take over. Corbin wasn't going to get the first down. It's probably going to be a 4th and 8 there. But obviously the fumble takes that away. But it's not like he was close to the first down before it happened. And it happened, I think, as he was getting tackled, right as he was going down near the Corry sideline, or at least near their hash.
Yeah, I think he tried to make a cut and started to lose control of the ball as he was making that cut.
Number of substitutes are in for Corry. The quarterback's still in. Sometimes you need that to run the play, but the skill positions the rest of the way around, at least, are new numbers, new players. I'm trying to figure out who they are. First carry is by, I'm not sure the number of the Corry guy. He's in the position Weiss has been in, but he gets about 2 yards, keeps battling. The ball pops out, but they say
yeah, it was the forward progress was stopped before that came out.
Fairview seems to generally have their starters still in. I'm not sure who made that play.
48. 48 was the yeah.
The tailback, the guy who ran the ball there, his name was Aiden Knapp.
Sophomore.
Yeah. Chris Plotz was on the tackle.
The tackle was by Plotz.
Chris Plotz with the tackle.
Lesser's still in shotgun with Knapp, I think, is the one who is standing this time behind him. And he gives it to Knapp. Knapp gets about 3-4 yards.
Yeah, they're showing a slightly different formation, and you'll see this sometimes, with the younger crew. They might run a slightly different variation of the offense in JV than what the varsity runs. But not that they had a fullback, but they kind of had one of those slot receivers inside the tackle box, just a little bit behind the tackle, and act as a lead blocker.
Plotz and Nesselhoff on the tackle there. It's going to be 3rd and 5. Lesher's still in with the same package of players surrounding him. And the play clock trickles under 10 seconds. It's going to be a toss sweep to Knapp. Malinowski gets him deep in the backfield. That's Malinowski with the toss sweep. And Sam's seen that a number of times today. This time I'm tired of this play. It's a 6-yard loss.
And he's had a couple big plays on it too, where he's played the edge. And this is Corry's first punt of the game, coming under 7 minutes in the fourth quarter.
And the senior running back, it looks to be the one that's punting. It'll be Landon Weiss, who's deep. Yeah, it's one of this always happens in these types of games. All the starters are out on this bench and they're like, punt team, they got to run back on. They forgot they had to do that.
Yeah, and you don't really have that second special teams in.
Weiss punts. It's a high punt. Decent. Oh, terrible. Great bounce for Fairview. Terrible bounce for Corry. And it lands at about the 45. Corry goes backwards to the Corry 38. Fairview had the ball there, so not a lot of harm done with that fumble. Obviously, we lose some time, but now we have the opportunity to get into the end zone. We'll see who we're sending out here. And it looks like
we're sending the younger crew out.
Sam Work is the quarterback.
The quarterback's going to be Sam Work.
39-yard line.
And I do not believe that there is a JV game tomorrow, so this will allow our younger guys to get a series, get some plays under their belt.
Our ball from there, 39-yard line. Sam Work jogging out to the huddle with the play. And I'll try to go through who all the new skill position players are, and then Luke can maybe go through the linemen. But we have Owen Burkett down here at wide receiver. Malinowski's still at win. Calvin Smith is at fullback in Zablotny's position. He runs a dive, and he came in hard, but there was not a lot of space. It's a loss of about 2.
It looks like Coach Sobolewski is going to call a timeout here, make sure everything's set, talk to the younger guys.
Timeout, Fairview.
He's talking to the ref. I'm not sure what he's talking to him about.
Oh, you know what? I think he might be talking to the head coach on the Corry sideline.
He's not really discussing things with the Fairview huddle at this point. He's discussing with the Corry sideline. But Fairview's going to have the opportunity to.
I don't know if that was a friendly conversation.
It was not. I'm not going to comment any further on that. But obviously, people are frustrated. And the tenor of this conversation from my football experience is, we got the kids in. Why do you still have the seniors in? And that's pretty much the tenor of it. And the other side says, we don't have our seniors in. And then we say, yeah, you do. And then it's the argument kind of dissolves into nothingness.
And one of the things a coach can do, to really kind of, not necessarily throw up the white flag, but to signify that he's putting in younger guys, is calling a timeout like this to show that there's a mass substitution of bringing in a younger crew. And then, you leave it up to the opposing coach to make a decision of how he wants to deal with that. And it does look like Corry's putting in some of their subs. There are a few guys that, we're getting significant time earlier in the game on defense, but...
All right, we're ready to go, and this, once again, it's going to be a keeper by Sam Work. It's a loss of 3 or 4. And I will say this, a number of Corry starters were in before that timeout was called that are not in currently.
Yeah, they did exchange out several.
It's going to be 3rd and 13 now. Maybe we'll see a pass from Sam. The clock is now down under 6 minutes. And it's going to be a give again to Smith up the middle. He gets maybe 2 yards, making it 4th and 11. Madsen will go for it, no real point in punting. But we've just either run the give or the keeper off the give. There have been 3 plays we've run with this unit. As I see McKnight comes out, he's the last starter I recognized who's in a corner. They were still organizing who was going to substitute for him. But now they got the whole, and another substitute comes in. 5 minutes left. 4th and 11. We'll see the formation. It's only 5 on the play clock, so we got to kind of hurry here. It's going to be a keeper by Sam Work. He got a little bit of space. He's about 6-7 yards short of the first down. Gets to about the 36. He had to get to the 29. Just a keeper off the left edge. Had a back. He faked it to, I guess faked it to Calvin Smith.
Yeah.
It was just diving. I don't know if it was a full fake handoff, but it was just an illusion that they were going to do it, and then bounced around outside, but was not able to get the first down. So it's going to be Corry ball at the 36.
Looks like we're trying to get our second defense out there, get them set. I'm not sure why our huddle is so far back, but
I want to get a running start before we get up there.
I guess so. Maybe they thought we were going to flip sides of the field. Then
it's going to be a timeout, I think, by us, just to make sure that we get the 11 kids out there, get them the chance to play tonight. It's a beautiful night. I mean, we talked about the weather. Last week it was a little cooler. This has been much more like September weather than in November weather.
Very much so. Actually, I think at kickoff we were warmer tonight than we were on our opening night in our first home game. So, beautiful day today. Great day for football. Maybe not this type of football, but
And it looks at this point, obviously schedules could fluctuate, but if you're still listening, you're a diehard Fairview fan. So that we're going to have a game next week against Franklin. It should be here.
It will be home, yes.
Yeah,
it'll actually be our homecoming game. Not that we can let a large crowd of alumni in to watch the game. Or that there will really be any homecoming festivities. So it's it's the homecoming game in name only. We may have a little bit of a homecoming presentation.
And obviously,
at halftime.
obviously that game's not guaranteed because of the obvious stuff going on. So we will see. Obviously, you got to follow the media to figure out. Franklin could have something happen. We could have something happen. Who knows? But that's in the background. It's a handoff to Knapp here as we pick up play. He's tackled by that's Malinowski.
Malinowski and Sam Work.
And Sam Works also there on the play. Gain of about 6 or 7. That was just the same play they've been running, and now they're bringing in a new running back. That is Junior Petty, who comes in for Knapp. It looks like he'll be in that running back position. Lester's still in, mostly to make sure the offense goes smoothly, I think.
Yeah, they do have a couple other quarterbacks on the roster, but it's one of those things that, oftentimes you keep that experienced quarterback in there to just make sure the offense runs smoothly.
It's going to be a toss sweep. This is to Petty off the left side. He's got space. Sam Malinowski's there. He loses. That looks like I think that was Sam Work.
That was Work.
That eludes Work.
Pushed out Isaac Januso.
Was pushed out by Isaac Januso making the play. It's going to be a first down for Corry. That was just that same toss sweep they've been running. And sometimes at the end of these games you run into all the specific game plan things you look for. Everyone's there to learn them, but the seniors, the juniors, the guys who are playing a lot are the ones that rep them more. So the younger players don't know as much about them, the game plan, and they're not as familiar. Lester's in shotgun again. Then out the Fairview 39. There's about 3 minutes left. And Petty keeps it. Goes up the left side. He's down to the 20. Tackled by Sam Work at the 20. The free safety. Sam Work's had to make a lot of plays.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, but he's mostly made the play every time as he's come up from his free safety position.
Of course, you know about making tackles from the free safety position.
That's correct. Thank you. I guess
you had to do that. You had to do that a lot back when. And oddly enough, he's wearing jersey number 7.
I wore that until
until you lost the jersey.
I lost it before the Northwestern game, and it was never located again, and I was in a lot of trouble with Nicole.
And the coach.
Yeah, I was more scared of Nicole. Now it's going to be first and 10 from the 20. Petty still up. It's going to be a delay game, it looks like, on Corry with 2:35 left in the game. They're just running pretty basic plays. They might score here, they might not. Fairview's going to try to get a stop with the JV team or the backups.
Yeah, I imagine unless Corry scores, we probably will not have another offensive possession here. With the running clock, the pace at which Corry's running the plays, if we stop them on a few here, probably end the game on this possession.
And it's a handoff to Petty up the middle. He gets about 5, makes it about back to the initial 10-yard or first and 10 marker, so it's going to be second and 10 with now 2 minutes left in the game. Corry up 55-7. The tackle on that play was made by
Calvin Smith and Dennis Panasenko.
Smith and Dennis Panasenko. I think that's the first time I said his name today. Minute 37 left as Corry breaks the huddle. They were no huddle at the beginning of the game. Now as they've slowed down, they're in a huddle.
And oftentimes with the younger guys, they might not be able to get those play calls from the side. So they're telling them the play calls in the huddle.
Hands off to, I think, Hayden Tomko.
77 again.
Oh, and
Dennis Panasenko.
And the tackle's by Dennis Panasenko again.
Going to bring up third down here. Corry shuffling around to try to get the right formation.
Actually, I think that was Maxime Panasenko made the play. The Panasenko brother, but I think they're just going to kneel it from here on out. I mean, yeah, and it's going to be Les who steps up and kneels it. You can tell that. I mean, the joke here is that Coach Sobolewski really he got to the Corry coach. Corry goes, not that they were doing it. Corry did nothing on a line.
No.
Coach Sobolewski just wanted to make clear when are we going? We got our backups in. When are we doing that?
Yeah, not the result that we wanted here tonight, but you know, you got to give some credit to Corry. They're a good football team, and you know, in a lot of ways they deserve to win tonight. Get them up to 4-5 on the season. You know, send their seniors off on a positive note. We'll have the opportunity to do that next week here against Franklin. Try to end our season on a positive note, end with a winning season.
Yeah, I think as the game ends and the teams are now shaking hands, the final score 55-7. Franklin is not this type of team. I think that there's a chance we could have a game like this next week. I hope we have a competitive, exciting game, but I think Fairview would be favored. So that hopefully, as long as the game happens, that'd be a great way for the Tigers to go out. And I'll notice because the athletic department has done such a great job here at Fairview, I believe Fairview is one of the only teams, perhaps the only team that will
actually. Yeah, Fairview is the only team that has a regular season game scheduled next week.
And I believe we will be the only team that did make the playoffs, at least, to play 10 games in the district.
Yeah.
And it's been ups and downs. It's been barn burners and stuff like that. And then the next time it is, sometimes you have games like this, but it's a full season, which we're excited for the kids to have. But as long as nothing strange happens, I believe the two of us will be back next week to bring the game to you.
Yeah.
So final score, Corry 55, Fairview 7. Leaving Fairview at 5-4 with one game left next week. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Have a good one.